Life is stranger than we dare to hope. Life is stranger than we'll ever know.
Throughout our history, there have always been tales of ghosts and monsters. Usually these tales were fabrications used to ensure children to mind their parents. Don't play in the woods past dark or the monster of the woods will get you type of stories. But sometimes tales of monsters can be real. 1883, Eagle Creek, Arizona. The Apache Wars were ending, but with the threat of a few renegade riders, isolated ranches were still on alert. On a very typical morning, something very sinister happened that would throw the area residents into a state of panic. Two men rode out in the early morning hours to attend their livestock, leaving their wives and children behind. One of the wives went to get fresh water while the other stayed behind to watch the children. As she started breakfast, she heard a bone-chilling scream. Looking out of the window, the woman saw a huge reddish-colored beast run past with an evil-looking creature strapped to its back. Scared beyond words, the woman barricaded herself in her house and waited for the men to return. That night, the men found the other woman dead, surrounded by strands of reddish hair and large cloven hoof prints. The legend of the Red Ghost was born. Several days later, a group of prospectors were camping near the area when they awoke by thundering hooves, a piercing scream, and their tent collapsed. As they managed to escape, they saw a huge reddish monster in the moonlight with an even scarier creature strapped to its back running into the distance. Again, long strands of reddish hair and more cloven footprints were found. The Red Ghost was real and had terrorized two groups already. Stories started to spread like wildfire. One man claimed to see the monster kill and eat a grizzly bear, while another claimed to have chased it only to have it vanish before his eyes. Many other attacks happened over the next few weeks. Cyrus Hamblin would soon provide more proof of the monster's existence. He was rounding up cattle when he rode upon the creature. Again, a huge reddish monster was spotted, but this time, the creature strapped to his back was identified as a full human skeleton. The townsfolk mocked this story until several weeks later, near a river, a group of prospectors saw the beast. Grabbing their rifles, they fired at the creature. Missing their shot, the beast ran into the distance, but something fell from its back. Upon inspection, the group found more reddish hair, cloven hoof prints, and the object that fell from its back, a human skull. This sent the town into a panic. Several more sightings followed. A group of teamsters were camped along the road when they were awoke by the creature's terrible scream. Terrified, they hid and watched as the beast, reported to at least be 30 foot tall, knocked over 2 freight wagons and destroyed their camp. The next day, more red hair and hoof prints. Over the next year, many were attacked and many described a giant red beast with a human skeleton on its back. It seemed the town was doomed. No one dared roam the desert alone at night. The tale of monsters and ghosts were real, and it had claimed victims and ravished camps for 9 years. The stories grew to legendary proportions until the creature made its last appearance in eastern Arizona. A rancher awoke and saw the creature casually eating in his garden. He grabbed his rifle and dropped the beast with one shot. Upon inspection, he had indeed killed the Red Ghost. It was a huge beast with red hair, cloven hooves, and a human headless skeleton strapped to its back. It was real. In the late 1840s, some junior army officers protecting the southwest frontier had a new idea. The area was void of grass and water for their horses and mules, so new creatures were shipped in. These creatures could survive years without water and could pack heavy equipment long distances. They were camels, and one of these camels escaped and roamed free for years. As the story goes, a soldier was terrified of these creatures, so fellow soldiers strapped him to the back of a camel to help him overcome his fear. The camel ran off and wandered the desert for several years. The soldier eventually died and the camel still roamed with a skeleton strapped to its back. Often, we encounter stories and tales that seem to be those used to scare disobedient children. But sometimes those stories are real, and sometimes the actions of humans are scarier than any unknown monsters. These stories often make us cringe.